Well, hello again, true believers. Trace from Molotov MetalWorks here. I'm going to do the first video update in a long time, entirely too long, about the project and how everything's going. I am so sorry that I've kept everybody in the dark for the last couple months as the snow and ice carving season has come to an end. We're now back in the shop and doing all kinds of fun stuff in here, and I'm going to bring you some kind of a video series about some of the updates with the project and where the project currently lies after an entire snow and ice season doing homework and clicking around to try and get this thing built on the computer, which has happened. Stoked about that. If you've been waiting for your 3D prints of the sculpture, they can finally be processed, because I had to design the entire sculpture first. So that's the landing point that we are now, but it's been a very long winter of nothing but I won't say nothing but work. It's obviously been fun also, but it has been a giant pile of work in order to get the sculpture going. I've been chipping away at it every single day. So I'm gonna start a little video series here to include lots of things about the project, like what a CNC's plasma cutter actually is, because it's come to my attention that a lot of people don't actually know. But you funded the project anyway, so thank you for that, and lots of other stuff. So let's get started. So, like I said, it's come to my attention that a lot of people have no clue what a CNC plasma cutter does, or plasma cutter in general, even if it were handheld, and that's totally fine. I have no clue how to operate like a PowerPoint program or like make a spreadsheet or stuff like that, because I work with a hammer and a welder and all that, so to each their own. CNC plasma cutter works like this. This thing is effectively a giant saw. Like, if you want to cut a 2x4, you cut it in one dimension, right? Like, it's only cut to length effectively, perhaps at an angle. This thing can move in 3 dimensions, and it cuts stuff from a big sheet. So in order to do that, you have to have like a deep throat, like you have a throat on a bandsaw over here. Like that's your throat. That's how wide a material you can work with. This guy is a 4x8 cutting bed and approximately a 5x10 footprint. So we can cut 4x8 foot material into whatever shapes we want with control, specifically computer numerical control, or CNC. Works like this. We have all these cool little pinion gears on the what the hell is this thing called? Gantry, that allow the machine to run back and forth this way on the x-axis, and then more mounted under the table here to allow it to travel back and forth on the y-axis, and then this little dude goes uppy downy on the z-axis to accommodate different material thicknesses. So this guy, our control box, will just tell it what to do. That's all this thing does. It runs on a file, it runs on what's called G-code, and there's one program in here that just takes G-code and tells the machine what to do. There's another program on here that will take a different file type and write the G-code. And then there's another program on a separate computer, my laptop, that will allow me to design parts in 3D and then flatten them and export the DXF code that the second program works off of. So every single file that you see cut on this thing, every single part, has been run through at least 3 programs. If it's art that I've got on the internet, or some sort of just PDF or random vector file or something like that, that someone has given me, like with a cool logo or a napkin sketch, a lot of times that's through at least one more program to vectorize all of that. So like, it's not like you just like, you know, highlight something, click and drag onto the machine over here, and it's like ready to go. But it is a lot easier than cutting stuff out by hand, and it's most certainly easier than cutting stuff out by hand multiple times if you have multiples of whatever it is that you're doing. So and it looks like this. How do we go from ideation to something that you can actually physically hold in your hand that is a polished and done project? Well, looks like this. This is a table-based design that I did for a client last year that has a beautiful view of the Fort Collins foothills that is up on a high-rise in the middle of Old Town. And this isn't the whole drawing, but this is an attempt of like plucking this out of my head and seeing kind of what the features look like before designing the whole file. And so what we have here is a table-based frame with some steel mountains that are cut out of 1/4 inch plate steel here, with the frame in 1 inch by 2 inch rec tubing, or rectangular tubing, or rec tube as we call it in the industry. You take that, run it through the old computer later a little bit, and it looks like this. We have a, like I said, our steel mountainscape in the center there with our very mildly tapered rec tube frame on the outside. Neither of them are colorized, so it's it doesn't look all black and white like this, or gray and white, but that is our exact proportion for our finished product, which is something that I always strive for with delivery days, and that the client doesn't go, oh, sure, dude, yeah, which means that they were really surprised about what you actually delivered, and that you failed to communicate what your idea would look like. So I really like this because it communicates exactly what my goal is to the client, and I can get them an example of what's going to happen before delivery day. So I can then take this whole element here in the center and pluck it out of there and come over here and try to find any sort of discrepancies or parts where a line doesn't connect, or what have you. If there's like some just piece of steel hanging out in space that can't actually exist or isn't going to be connected to the end result definitive drawing, then now's the time to find that sort of stuff. But here I can see this is steel, this is void, this is steel, this is void, so on and so forth. And this is like the quintessential CNC project, where this is so awesome that I can do this on the computer ahead of time and not fabricate this like by hand, little like piece by piece, because this would just take just days and days to fabricate one piece after another. Like by the time I get everything zapped and then get the welds like cut down and polished and clean and wire wheeled and blah blah blah, ready to send off to powder coat, all of this because you put so much heat into a small area would be just warped like a potato chip, and that sucks to try and like fix this many things and just really like bumper bowl it back into what you thought would be the your idea, your goal. So having this come off the plasma table and look exactly like that is just awesome. And it's all one piece. You pick it up at one time. You don't have to like put anything back together, and that is what just a good functionality, or good design looks like in regards to functionality and aesthetics. And I really like this design. But I took that, oriented it to the horizontal plane over here, deleted all the faces, did a couple other little steps to it, and boom, like this whole thing here is just ready to be exported as a DXF file and into our G-code writing program, just like that. It's that easy to not only have this file ready to go, but also to have as many of these as I want, because once this work is done, all I got to do is load another sheet and hit Control P again effectively, and it's just ready to go. We can have 50 of these if we wanted. So do the work digitally one time, and then it's replicable. I keep using that word in regards to the one more time sculpture, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. You can just replicate it. You can also scale it to be whatever size you want. You can take it down to where it's like 6 inches wide, blow it up to where it's the size of a city block. So stoked. This is exactly what we want out of the CNC concept. So just to round out the video of the whole project here, this is a spot of the machine cutting the file, and it actually fit 2 of these on the same 4x8 sheet, which was awesome. And not only that, it cut both of them in 24 minutes. Here's a couple of pics of the finished product installed on the 6th floor of the KeyBank building here in Old Town Fort Collins. Yay, CNC.